I feel like Al-Quadin Muhammad's kind of maybe his profile's risen a little bit, maybe in the last week or so, just in my eyes. But what's been your evaluation of him? Just since he's got here, and just the how he's been able to build himself here during this camp.
Yeah, Mo is a guy that's always brought great energy to our football team, and he really stands for what we believe in terms of his effort and his motor. And what he's doing now is really working with Bakes and Raish and focusing on little technique things that work for him. And I think he's getting better that way. So in terms of what he brings to the table as a man and as a player, you can't say enough good things about him in terms of that. So we're excited for him, and he's always been a ball of energy for us, and he's always played well for us too in his role.
LB.
Hey, Coach. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I know you've been asked about the D-line a lot. I'm just kind of curious, has it exceeded maybe your own expectations for how well certain guys seem to be playing, or just as a group, how strong it is? Or is this how you envisioned it would be, bringing Buckner in, other guys maybe improving their game? Is it as good as we think it is?
Yeah, I think that's a work in progress. I think it's a great question. But as we know, we got to start playing games, and then you start really knowing where everybody is. And that changes, people are up, people are down, and your makeup of your defensive line plays. So we need all hands on deck at the defensive line, 8 or 9 guys. Hopefully we'll have that many up for the game at some point, and rotating those guys. And when they're in there, they got to play. So it's an exciting group. Obviously, the addition of the players that we've added are certainly ups the talent pool there, and they learn how to play off each other and play in the game with each other. And certainly last scrimmage was a good first impression and a good start.
Thank you, Coach.
Will Erickson.
Hey, Coach, have you gotten the turnover production you'd like to see so far in camp?
Yeah, it's turnover production is always you always want more, and we're never doing it good enough. So it's got to be something that's always on our mind, each player, each coach, and we have to coach it every single play. So we have to do a better job with that. But I say that every practice. That's an ongoing process with us, and we want to make sure we're doing those things, the details that it takes to get the takeaway.
Is that just coaching ball skills? Is that coaching where to be? Is that just kind of all of it?
It's coaching several things, I think. It's coaching how to cup the football in the perimeter. It's coaching your angles. It's coaching once you're at the point of truth, the moment of truth there. What are you doing to put your body on the runners, and then work your strip attempt from there. So it's all encompassing.
Stephen Halter.
Hey, Coach. I'm just wondering, I know they're kind of down the depth chart, but I'm wondering about 2 of your draft picks. If you could kind of give some assessment of them. First, Rob Windsor, and then maybe Jordan Glasgow. Just what has been the initial impression, and what are you seeing what you thought you would see?
Yeah, so Robert first is a guy that's – the reason we brought him here is because, the attack mentality that he has on every single down, the energy, he plays our way already, in terms of that. He has to improve on those things, consistency. But our first impression on him is favorable. We like where he is. As we stated last time we were talking last week, it takes a minute for those guys to adjust to this game up here and what works for him, and he's no different. So we're pleased where he is. We thought he played well in the scrimmage that we had at the stadium, and he's doing well. In terms of Jordan, Jordan's done a great job. I know Bubba loves him in the special teams, and he's learning a role at linebacker. And when you are a linebacker that's not a 1 or a 2, you have to learn several positions. So he's in that process right now, and it's not an easy process because you're coming in new, trying to learn how to play up here and also learn multiple positions. So but he's a smart guy, so we're excited about where he is in terms of his functional intelligence and operating on the field at a couple of positions, and then where he is on special teams.
George Bremer. George Bremer.
Coach, you got Isaiah Rodgers back today. Is there any concern? He's been out for a little while and obviously a rookie. Is there any concern about the time that he's got left on the field?
Well, we're just going to accelerate that as best we can. When guys come back from injury, they're always on a pitch count. So there's a little crux there in terms of getting them work. We have to get him the mental work because he's only allowed so many reps on the field. So as he ramps up his time coming back from injury. So we have to do a good job with walkthroughs in the meetings, and Jonathan Gannon will do a nice job with that. Does a nice job coaching those guys. So it's going to be part walkthrough, part film study, and then as he ramps up, we'll get him all the reps he can. But yeah, it's a concern, no question, when guys miss time. It's always the mental side of it has to be there, visualization has to be there, and they have to catch it up that way.
Mike Chappell.
Coach, we've talked a lot about Justin Houston. With someone like him, are you looking for something more from him or more of the same from him? And if you want more, what more do you want from him?
Yeah, I would say that with Justin, in this point of his career, we're just wanting him to just keep, working in that same direction. We thought he had a really good year last year. He can improve on some things, and he knows what those are. And, he knows his body and knows his game, better than anybody. So we're just trying to help him do that as coaches. And, the leadership, on the field and off the field, teaching the young guys how to pass rush along with our coaches, so he's doing all those things, and we're excited where he is right now. So, you don't put your finger on one particular thing with him. I just think that it's just improving his game and also just keep doing what he's doing. He's doing a great job with his body, and we're excited where he is.
Just a quick follow-up. Was he better against the run last year, or had you seen that as part of his game?
I just think it was more of a transition, Mike, in terms of putting his hand in the ground and not playing the 9 technique all the time. When you're in a 3-4 defense, he was playing outside backer. And I've coached those guys in the past, but it's a lot different than playing in a 6 or a 5 and then doing all the multiple things that a defensive end has to do. And outside backers have to do a lot too in the 3-4, obviously with their drops and various things they do there. But it was just more about transitioning to the 4-3 defense that he needed to adjust to, and he did a nice job.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll do 2 more. Zach Kiefer.
Hey, Matt, it seems like Malik Hooker has had some good days and some bad days in camp so far. How would you evaluate him thus far in camp?
Yeah, I would say that he's had more good. I don't really recall, Zach, of any bad ones. I would say that he's had good practices. I thought he really did a nice job of hustling and angles to the football. For the most part, when you dial it in terms of the all-encompassing, I thought he's done a nice job so far. We're happy where he is, and he's in a good spot. He's doing a good job back there with that safety group, because we got a couple of new additions in there, and that's been going well. And we're excited where he is. And, he's just going to keep working. Like last training camp was his best training camp, and he started off the season really strong, and he's on that same track. And we're excited where he is, and we're going to keep moving forward with him. But Malik's doing well.
And last question, Jim Milo.
Hey, Matt, I just wanted to – I think you've been asked about Tae-Kwon a bunch, but I was curious if you could just – outside of health, what's the biggest difference between Tae-Kwon 2019 and Tae-Kwon 2020? And then a follow-up would be just have you seen Coach Baker work with him, and what has he done to help him elevate his game this year? Yeah, I think that we talked about Tae-Kwon last time, and really the biggest difference is him understanding where he is, and understanding what works for him. And it just takes time with the defensive lineman to do that. And I think Coach Baker and Coach Race have done a really good job with him of recognizing where he is and what works for him. So that's what our whole job as coaches with players is to help them and to serve them to be better with their technique fundamentals and then understanding of the game.
And I think those guys are doing that really well. They're working together, and it's a collaborative effort. The coach and the player has to want to be coached, and then working together to get better every single day. And what they're doing is they're working on one fundamental a day to get better at with each guy. And I think that's resonating with Tae-Kwon and the rest of the group. Let's just get better at one thing today, and then we'll move on. If we need to go another day, we'll do that too. But let's just focus on the basics and the details of your position.
For Tae-Kwon, you talked about real quick, what he does best. What are focusing on those things? What are those things that he does best?
He's quick. He's quick, and he's a really good athlete, and he's got to use that to his advantage. If he's playing inside, outside, right or left, he's going to play all over the line. So it's important that he understands who he is. He's not a big 300-pound guy. He's a quick mover, and he's powerful. So he's just using that to his advantage.